Hello, hello, hello! This is the Real Agent P.
Hey, it's Basu.
And it's Daux. How are you? It's been a while.
Yep. And we are coming together to bring you the most complete 21 guide that's under 5 hours long. Woo!
5 hours? I thought we were here for
Wait,
20
hold on.
minutes.
5 hours for what? What?
I didn't sign up for this, bro. Hold up.
So, as always in this guide, we're going to be going over her special moves, her supers, any notable normals that she has. She has a couple. Her assists, what we think her pros and cons are, what position that we think she should play, and kind of the general game plan for her. So let's go ahead and jump right into those special moves.
My name is Basu. I'm also a 21 main, and I'm here with Agent P and with Daux. And I'm actually going to be talking with you guys about 21's dive, the little dunk thing. And the dunk can ever be used for a lot of things. It can be used for pressure, it can be used for combos. And I actually want to talk to you guys about pressure first. So P, I need you to block like everything, so like just don't get hit, please. It's getting in the corner first, actually. And the thing about the dive is that it is actually -5 on block for all the dives. So it's -5 for the light, the medium, and the heavy. They're all the same frame data. The thing that's interesting about the heavy is that you actually can combo into it. So do something like this. Well, I didn't finish the combo. You get the idea. You can combo into 21's dive by herself. You just don't need an assist. Whereas for the medium and the light one, she doesn't need an assist like this. And that's kind of the gist of it with 21's dive. Again, it can be used for pressure, it can be used for combos. At least the way I use it, I need you to 2H me. I usually mean to go back down and get back to the ground fast. Instead of just just landing properly, I can just come back to the ground. And it'll make things a lot easier for me to at least get my bearings back. But all in all, I think the dive is actually one of her best pressure tools, and the EX dive is definitely one of her best combo tools, especially with how it is in Season 3, where EX moves are only half off, whereas in Season 1 and 2, they actually cost a full bar. The dive is just one of her best tools. Every 21 player should definitely make good use of her dives, whether it's the light with an assist or just the heavy and then combo into it. And that's just my piece on it.
Gaming here. I know it's been a while. I haven't posted a video in a while. I was about here by Agent P to explain another good move that Agent 21 has, which is the orb. Now, traditionally, the orb has about 24 or 25 frames of startup. It's good for a lot of things. It's good for beating out Super Dash. It's also good for checking the opponent. She has 3 different versions of the orb. She has the horizontal version, the angle version, and the EX version. Now the EX version is slightly faster, and depending on the amount of steals you have, you can get more plus frames. EX ball is +1 on block traditionally without any steals. It goes up by 5 each steal you have. You can have a total up to 4 steals, making it +20. You get more plus frames the farther away you are. Also, whenever you have full steals, so what I usually do in the neutral is I want to prioritize landing this level 3. So as you're blocking this ball, you can use it, you can have an assist to keep your turn. Also, the ball is a frame trap, so if he tries to mash while he's blocking, he's going to get hit. Even if he vanishes, square won't beat it, triangle won't beat it. This ball is a natural frame trap, but there is one weakness to it. It's a natural frame trap. Even if he was mashing Vanish Share or doing anything but blocking, unless it's DP or level 3, you're going to get hit, and you vanish your full combo. Another thing you can use it for, besides trap frames, is I need to let you know one weakness because this block string isn't real. You can actually reflect here. There's a gap because there has to be a gap so you can beat on mashing. So you can reflect right here, and if you can reflect, that means he can also level 3. He missed his input there. See? So use the ball wisely. Be very careful. Also, the ball has another property. No matter which version of the ball you do, if they block the ball in the air, you're plus, by the way. So if they get hit with the ball in the air, call an assist, yell them to the ground, and take your turn. Also, if he was a super dash right here, and I use the Exceed ball. Now it has startup. You have to predict it. You have to call it out. See how I got hit during startup? So it's not something you want to use to be super dash reliably. You're better off just 2 HE. There's also one more thing. The ball also jills to vanish, all versions of it. I wouldn't recommend doing this after a... Hold on, I need you to block. I would recommend you vanishing after EXT ball, because that's just a waste of bar. Just use the light version, then vanish. This is another way to take your turn. But a good rule of thumb, what I like to do in neutral with this ball, is if you have a beam or 10 Gohan, you can do stuff like this. You can just... You know, you can really just ignore him. If he tries to super dash, you call Gohan. If he tries to super dash you, you call base Goku, you know. And they can't really do anything. You have control of both. You have control of the horizontal in the air while you're spamming these orbs. That's why I picked the team the way it is. Also, there's one more fun thing to do. It's something I've been working on in training mode. Hold on, I need you not to block real quick. Now you can actually reach up off of this. It's my favorite combo extension. It's really cute. Alright, so P doesn't block here. So... Up, and I missed it. Hooray. But you can reach up off that. You just gotta time it better than I did. And it'll do about roughly 60% with another bar. So... That's all I have for the ball. Use it wisely. Remember, it's not a viable option to beat Super Dash, only if you have the read. Don't be scared to throw it on neutral, but don't throw it out too much. Alright, that's all I have for you today. This is Daux Gaming. I'll see you next time.
Alright guys, thank you for those explanations. Now we're going to be moving on to her quarter circle forward and quarter circle back S. We're going to be covering these both in one section. The quarter circle forward in S is called the connoisseur cut, and the quarter circle back in S is called the aerial connoisseur cut. And they both function pretty similar. So you see these 4 little boxes that are right under 21. They're not under Goku's. That's because whenever you do her forward, quarter circle forward in S on the ground, she steals that move. And the quarter circle back in S on the ground, well, you might be like, oh, how does this do? If you do a 2M, you can tick throw into it. And it's great. So this is the grounded version. You see these little boxes appearing, right? Well, we're going to pop in Vegeta real quick. And we're going to bring him up in the air. And we're going to do the aerial version. Oh, that's a yellow one, right? Okay, well, what if we bring in Android 21? Okay. And we do the well, she's got a green one. Okay. These colors all depict a different type of ability that you can absorb, and all of these absorbed abilities are going to be getting their own video. It's just going to take way too long for me to cover in this video. It's going to make it like 5 hours long. So the gist of it is, you do the quarter circle forward in S, you grab an ability. After you do it again, you use the ability, and the ability is gone. And that is a Season 2 change, I believe. It might have been in Season 3 that they changed that. It's been a while since she's had this change. Used to, whenever she first came out, you had these abilities until you got rid of them, and the only way to get rid of them was with the EX Fireball, but you can dump all of them at one time if you want to. But these abilities are all dependent on who you steal them from, and they all do different stuff depending on what they are. So, like I said, the abilities are going to get their own video where me, Basu, and Daux are all discussing them at the same time. But the gist of the move is you do it, you get the ability, and then you can use the ability in a combo. So the big Season 3 change for this move is you can get a sliding knockdown with it. And this is true for the aerial version as well. Just gonna do a nice little combo here, and boom, slide knockdown. Now before this change, she did not have access to sliding knockdown, except for Vanish and to Dragon Rush. Now they also made this change for the yellow command grab here. So if we just do it raw, sliding knockdown. It also gives that little bit of a wall bounce that you can use to combo off of and such. But like I said, all the abilities are going to be getting their own guide, so that is just not even worth going into right now. But this is her only access to sliding knockdown, meterless sliding knockdown. You know, she can always do the into Vanish, into Dragon Rush, and get a sliding that way, just like every other character. But outside of that, this is, if you want a sliding knockdown, you're going to have to either use the yellow command grab or her normal command grab. Moving on to her super move, she has one level 1 super that is good both in the air and on the ground, and she has a level 3 that is only good in the air, and a level 3 that is only good on the ground. The only level 1 she has is Photon Wave, and that is quarter circle forward and the R1 or R2 buttons, and that is this right here. Nice little finger beam, and that's it on the ground. This is it in the air. You know, same thing happens. Now, as you notice, when I'm in the air, I kind of drop down to a specific height. That is one thing that you do need to note with this, is that no matter where you are on the screen, you will always go to that height off the ground. Now, what does this mean for combos? This means that if you're way up in the air and you do the level 1 without bringing it back down to the ground, you're gonna whiff hard. So you need to make sure that you bring it back down to the ground, whether, you know, however you do that, whether it's with a Vanish into Dragon Rush, because that works, and you can do that, you know, or you can do a simple dunk into the level 1. You know, whatever you need to do to get them back down to the ground is what, that's the only way this super is going to hit. So you need to make sure that your opponent is on the ground to get hit. And if they're in the air floating around, it's just not going to do anything. They're going to be able to jump right over it, or, you know, like I showed you with the first example, they're just going to be able to tech out and you're going to be on the ground doing nothing. So that is a big thing to note. One other thing to note is that if you do this after a Dragon Rush, like at the end of a long combo, then it's not going to hit because it takes time to travel across the screen. So you saw it just completely whiffed there on him. So if you're doing this, you need to make sure that you are at least in the corner. Because in the corner this works. In the corner this works perfectly fine. If I can get it to work perfectly fine. There we go. Yeah, in the corner it works perfectly fine. You still get all your hits, all your damage, and it's all good. But anything, you know, out of the corner, if you're if you can have them travel full screen, it's just not going to work for you. It will drop, and then you'll leave yourself very open because there is a bit of a recovery time to it. So we're going to do it, we're just going to hold up so she can jump at the first possible moment. So that's, you know, does have a bit of a recovery time. If they whiff, you can get super dashed or banished on and just get really punished for it. So you need to make sure that if you're going to use this level 1, it does connect. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad level 1. It does pretty good damage. Overall, pretty average damage for the level 1s across the board. So it's not like it's weak or anything. And then one specific thing to note that Daux wanted me to touch on is that this level 1, as long as your back's in the corner, it does allow for a Spirit Bomb combo. So it's got a DHC quick, and it gives the height needed to get into the Spirit Bomb. So for you base Goku players out there, you know, that is a good boon, and 21 can definitely help out your team with that. Alright, the first level 3 that we're going to talk about is her grounded level 3. and that is quarter circle back and R1 or R2. That is the Sweet Tooth. She fires out a little candy beam, pops you into some kind of treat. It's a cupcake! Takes a bite out of you. If she doesn't kill you, she just is disgusted at how you taste and throws you away. But if she does kill you, turns you into a donut, takes a bite. Oh, you're scrumptious. She's just gonna eat you all in one bite. These little pose, I love it. I love how her little tail curls and she's so happy. Something to note with this is if you watch the yellow life up here, I'm gonna do it again on Android 18 here. You will notice that her yellow life recovers. So this move will recover a small amount of recoverable life, as well as filling every single absorb slot that you have. The absorb slot boost was a level 3 boost, a level 3 buff for her, strictly. So now she can just, you know, go at it and just boom, full combo off of that. It's kind of great. So yeah, that was a big level 3 change for her, is getting those absorbs. The other thing is that I will say is the Oki on this isn't too bad. It puts you in a pretty decent state. You know, you're not too far away. You can, you know, instant air dash, get a bunch of different stuff, get a bunch of different setups. You know, you can instant air dash heavy for a cross, for a front. If you microdash an instant, air dash heavy, you get a cross up. You can also instant air dash medium. And I'm getting super dashes on all these because I'm trying to talk and record at the same time. There we go. So instant air dash medium and right into a combo there. You know, so the Oki on this is pretty good all around. Now, I will say that the recovered health that you get is kind of minimal in the grand scheme of things, especially at the end of a long combo. The recover health that you're going to get isn't that great. And it does do, out of the 2 level 3s that she has, it does do the least amount of damage, and it does below average damage just kind of across the board of all characters. The big thing that you're getting it for is the fact that it does leave you with pretty good Oki, and you get all of your ability slots filled up. So that's the big reason to use this, is so that you can fill these ability slots, and it gives you really good Oki afterwards. Onto her air level 3, quarter circle back, and the R1 or R2 button. It is called the Excellent Full Course, and this can be Tiger Need, if I can do it correctly. There we go! So you can do it as low to the ground as possible. She rushes forward, does like a maximum spider, then hits you with a big ball of energy. And as you can see, the distance here is pretty good too. Same thing with her level, her grounded level 3 is that you can, you know, instant air dash, do all this stuff. Now, the fun thing is in the corner here, if we can get it to go right. There we go. The Oki in the corner here is much better because you end up right on top of them. So that is one reason to use the air level 3 over the grounded level 3, is that the Oki in the corner is so much better. This also does more damage than her grounded level 3. So out of the 2, if you're looking for the more damage, this is the one to take. Now, it's not a lot more. It's within the like 1 to 200 point range. I haven't looked at the exact numbers to, you know, give you an exact figure, but it is still more damage. And if you're looking at that going, okay, I think the air level 3 could kill them off, but the ground level 3 might not, I would bank on the air level 3 just to get you that that extra damage. And like I said, it's good Oki. And the other thing, you know, the fact that it's an air level 3, you know, you can sit here and toss out Ki blasts, and then we're gonna have our dummy set to do something real quick, so we'll be right back. All right, so you know, if you're just flitting around and everything, you throw out a Ki blast, you can bait them. So you know, you can catch people super dashing at you. You can catch people coming at you, doing stuff. You can catch people doing stuff with this move that you couldn't necessarily catch other things with. You know, like you can't really catch them with the dog. You can't really catch him with the. You can catch him with the medium fireball, but you know you're not going to get the much damage as catching him with a level 3 here. So you know that's just a good thing about it is that you know it is an air level 3. It's an air okay level 3. You know people are still doing the snap on you and they snap you in. And they come to pressure you. You can crack them with that. You know it's a good air bait move. You know if you just want to kind of sit around here because she's got really good ki blast and she can sit around here and flit. You know stick out her medium button. Yeah, she's got some range in the air to keep you at bay, so she can make you want to do something a little bit stupid. And as soon as you mess up, she's just gonna come and get you. Okay, now we're moving on to her notable normals, and the first one I want to talk about is not the most notable, but it is worth noting, is her 5LL. So her 5L, it's got terrible range. Let me just point that out here. Like. It's okay, but you know it's not great. Like she should be grabbing his wrist right there. You can see her fingers going through his arm, and it's not connecting. So her 5L is not great. Her 5L, her LL, is decent because it kind of moves her forward a little bit. But the big thing I want to talk about is her third move right there, because that third move, that kick, does have an anti-air property. So if you see someone super dashing on you, you can, I want to put that in quotation marks, can knock them out of the air, but it is not a reliable anti-air. It is not as reliable as her 2H, which is huge, but you know, it does have an anti-air property on it, and it does kind of move you forward. It is good for confirming vanish combos, because all you have to do is just dash forward a little bit and just kind of go for it. So you know it does have its uses, but as far as to like try to reliably use that third move as an anti-air move, I would not suggest it. Now the next thing I want to talk about as far as notable normals, her 2H. This thing is massive, massive. Like that whole arc there that she does with her tail all the way up to the top of the screen, it hits that. You know, it hits pretty far forward. It's not like Janemba's where it's super, super tall but skinny. No, she kind of jumps forward and does it. I mean, it is a really good 2H. I mean, you can be back here and still, you know, connect with it into full combo and such. Oh, it's crazy good. It's really good for, you don't have to like get a lot of super tight timing with like, you know, Krillins or Videls where you have to kind of have like a tight timing on it. No, you can pretty much throw this out anytime somebody super dashes. It's gonna hit them. It's got that big of a hitbox to it. I would say it's second to like Goku Black's as far as like just sheer size. And I would honestly put it second best 2H in the game, just because of how massive this thing is. Yeah, we talked about her, you know, 2H in the ground, and you saw her 2H in the air. Pretty standard 2H in the air. The thing that she doesn't have standard in the air is an air heavy. You know, let's bring Cooler in here for a second. So I mean, Cooler in the air. Nice standard air heavy, just knocks him back down to the ground. Janemba's got a little bit of a weird one, but it still functions where it still knocks him back down to the ground. 21's air heavy kind of just kicks him away and lets him tech out. Now you might be thinking, okay, that's kind of bad. Well, in mid screen, yeah, it's not great. In corner, though, you can add on a lot of damage by adding in those extra heavies there in the corner. So you can add in those heavies in the corner and get a lot more damage off of her. And she really shines in that department. Alright, the next thing we want to talk about are her ki blasts. She's got really good ki blasts, and as you can see, they are 3-hit ki blasts. What does this mean? This means these can blow through like single, even high priority ki blasts. Things that delete one ki blast, they can go through like Broly's. Now I don't think they can go through UIs or Jiren's big old beam-like ones, and they definitely lose to a full projectile, you know, like the fireballs and stuff like that. But, you know, high priority ki blasts, it will take 3 of them to get rid of all of these. And so yeah, here they're not spammable. They do have a bit of recovery to them, but they're quick. They're very, very quick. So we're going to turn on frame data here real quick. There we go. And, you know, 26 frames full screen, 16, 13 point blank. Yeah, if you're not on the ball with it, you're going to get caught by that, because that's just a quick ki blast. And this will chain into her 2S. So her down S does, she does a little hop backwards and right into the 3 ki blast. Now this functions a lot like her air ki blast, where her air ki blast, she does a little hop forward and shoots them out, and it's got a really good angle. You know, like, there's a lot of the screen that's covered by these. So it's a good angle, they spread out. If you do it right, you can get multiple hits on them. Now, the thing is, it is a little slow. As you can see, 38 frames from full screen. Even from like close up, you're looking at 24 frames. So it's not like it's unreactable or anything. But it does give you that kind of little bit of a retreat. And like I said, you can chain them from one to the other. If I can get this quick. You can't quite chain them into each other there, but yeah, it does work. Now in the air, if you do the 2S, it's just gonna do this standard normal ki blast, so you're not gonna have to do or worry about anything like that. But her ki blasts are very good and a very good zoning tool for her. Okay, now the big button, the Android 21 button as it were, her mediums, because oh my Jesus, her mediums are fantastic. So 5M. That move. Look at that. Just whips her tail, hits you from there. It's stupid. It's almost round 1. Take a little step forward. Take like 2 little steps forward, and you're hitting from almost round 1 position with a medium. So I mean, this thing has ridiculous range. It's great. This will contest about anything in the game as far as range-wise goes. There's very few people that have anything that can even come close to this move. And her jump medium is just as ridiculous. Like seriously, her jump medium is ridiculous. And obviously, we got to talk about her 2M. Her 2M is a tail spike. It's kind of like Kid Boo's, where it does the ground. So you can see from round 1 position, the 2M is not hitting. But, well, what happened there? That hit, though. The 2M's not hitting, right? Oh, but that hit. Let me turn on my displays for you for just a second. We turn on the command history. You'll see that the 2M does not hit. But if you hold 3 or down forward M, it does. Now this move goes about 3/4 of the screen and can be chained into the ki blast for easy confirms. And so on and so forth. Yo, so her 3M is ridiculous. Now it is not the fastest, but you know, 17 frames from there, that is convertible into a ki blast, is ridiculous. And much the same way in my cooler guide, if you see I'm buffering in the special, I'm not hitting anything, so it's not coming out. But if I hit, it's gonna hit, and it's gonna come out, and then you can do an easy 2-layer confirm, get your vanish, because really nothing else she has from that range will hit. You know, you can also obviously like confirm with an assist if you want to. So I mean that's always good to go. So I mean, do not sleep on her 3M, because like I said, it's 17 frames, pretty much regardless of where you're at. And it does have minimal tracking, but if you are too close to the opponent, except if you're in the corner, but if you're too close to the opponent, the 3M will whiff, and you can't really walk it back like you can with Kid Boo's, but if you just hit the 2M, it will adjust, because your 2M does have the closer range adjustment to it. And this is how you can set up tick throws too, so you can go 2MS into your back grab, and boom, you have a tick throw. So the fact that she has a 3M, that long-reaching normal, that is also a pretty good scaler as far as everything goes, is just great. So all in all, if you're using her lights or her heavies, her stand heavy has some really good range too. Round 1 start, a little bit back from round 1 start, it's got some ridiculous range, so it can catch stuff pretty easily too. So I mean, if you're using her, you're using her for her big normals. She's just got some really easy confirmations. She's got huge normals, huge range. She can play from a range that only like the big boys can really play from. And she's, not necessarily like, she is tall. She is taller than most, but she's got like Cooler and Broly sized normals on a, package that's half the size. So you got this tall but slender hitbox with these huge normals. So it's, I can't talk enough about her normals. They're just so good. But we're gonna move on. Moving on to her assists. With Season 3, everybody got 3 assists. So we're going to talk about all 3 of them here. And the first one is her total detonation ball, and it's her fireball. Comes out, throws it. As you can see, it gives you 65 frames of hit stun. The attack startup is 25. If we put on the enemy to block, you can see it also gives you 25 frames of block stun. So with that being said, what can you do with it? Well, it does pop up a little bit, so you can use it in combos like this. And so on and so forth. Not an optimal combo, didn't even finish it, but you get the idea. You can use it to pop the opponent back up and re-combo after that. So now we're going to talk about her B assist, which is the hors d'oeuvre stab. This is also her dunk. I'm going to bring on Janimba for this because this is the assist that I personally use with her. This is dunk. It gives you a decent amount of hit stun, and the block stun on it. There we go. It's not bad either. 29 frames of block stun, so it's pretty good. It's pretty good for doing block strings and such like that, but I like it because it just works really well with Janimba's combos. In that for him specifically, it leaves them to where you can just go right into your 5LL, because the way that his 5LL works, brings it back down. It's got a very Bardock property, so for him and Bardock, I do believe that like the B assist would be the best one, just because it does give you the way that you need to work it, And I just like it for my combos with the big demon from Hipple. I personally think the B assist works the best, and then with Cooler, you can get extra stomps with it. Ooh, if I hit the right one. You can get an extra stomp rep in and get a little bit more damage. So, that is a good thing with him too. So, for me, I personally like the B assist the best out of these 3. But it's all going to be personal preference. If you want a good pop-up assist, she has it. If you want a good block stun assist, she has it. And then, of course, she also has a C assist, which is the snack time. And this is basically her 2H. She comes out, hits you with the 3rd hit of her auto combo, does a 2H, and then brings you back down to the ground. Now, as with all C assists, it does the normal C assist stuff. Oop, didn't mean to do that. Sorry, Lord Cooler. 145 frames of, 110 frames of advantage, so that's really crazy. If we set the enemy to block. I think it's also got pretty decent hit stun, 50 frames of block stun. So it's got, it's a good C assist. It doesn't track in the air, but the hitbox on it is pretty big. So, and like I said, the 50 frames of block stun in there is really nice too. Personally, I don't think it is worth the extra cooldown. Like I said, if I have to pick, I'm going to pick the Order Stab, but the assist or Little Dunk, just because I think it's just a slightly better assist. Now, I will say, it doesn't track, so it's not like a Bardock assist. It does work like her dunk though, so you can see that she's actually not hitting him, but the splashes. So that's something that works exactly like her dunk, where if the splash hits, then the opponent gets hit. So it does have a little bit more range than it looks, just because it does have that splash damage to it, but it doesn't have a lot more damage, or a lot more range than it looks like. So you do have to be kind of close. It is more of a combo extender, or if you're using it for block strings, it does give a lot of good block stun for those block strings. So overall, I think pound for pound, the V assist is my favorite. Basu and Daux might disagree with me on this, but it's my guide, so this is what I'm saying. So talking about her pros and cons, we're going to start off with her pros, and I said this before in the notable normals section, but her range is just so good. If you're playing her, you're playing her for the range here. You're not picking her because she's super fancy or anything like that, but her range is just disgustingly good. I mean, just the fact that she can, like I said, convert off of a full screen 3M is ridiculous. Her stand H being round 1 start, which is not as big of a deal. More and more characters are getting to where they can do that, but it's still a good deal that you can take a couple steps back and still hit from basically the round 1 position. Her air M being as big as it is, her air H being as big as it is, and with that you can cross up with it if you time it right. Time it a lot better than I can, honestly. So just trust me on that when I say you can do it. But her air H is very big hitbox. That whole cartwheel is pretty much a hitbox on her. The tail in the air. She's just got really good range. And part of that really good range makes her have really good neutral. She's got all the typical neutral tools that everybody does. Back dash, forward dash, air dash, instant air dash. Instant air dash into cross up. So I mean, she's got all the normal tools that everybody else has, but with her range and her really good key blasts, and the fact she can bait level, bait stupid stuff. She's just got really good neutral, really good key blasts. If they recovered just a little bit quicker, I think they'd be even better. But that is what it is. But overall, she's got really good neutral. She's got really good damage, especially if you could, like I said, get into the corner, like I said with the extra heavies and stuff. That's a 1 assist, 1 bar combo that does over half your health. And that wasn't hard at all. That wasn't a difficult combo, and yeah, that did a lot of damage. So she can do some crazy damage out of sparking, with 1 assist. She could even do it solo if you need her to. And one of the things that I think is a little unique to her, she's very freeform. So you can confirm off of a lot of her stuff. She's very easy to confirm off of, like super dash, key blast into dunk, or into grab, into dunk, into assist. She's very easy to confirm off of just straight hits with. So any of her hits are going to lead to big damage, which factors back into the big damage part of her. But especially after she gets her skills up, she is very freeform after this, because you can do some really just wicked combos, you know, even with just this Kamehameha stuff. You know, you could also do, you know, that. As I was showing earlier with the level 3, you know, you can basically burn all of them with that specific Kamehameha one because of how it functions. You can just go through all 4 of them. She's very freeform with it. You know, when you mix up her steals, you can just get into some crazy stuff. It's really saucy and does a lot of damage, so that's really good. She's very team friendly. Like, she works really well with about any assist, just because of how her combo structure works of, you know, taking them up and then working them back down to the ground if you don't miss your dunk like I just did. She just works really well with about any assist. So, yeah, she works just really well with any team. And, you know, her assists, her detonation ball, her dunk, even her, you know, C assist, you know, just work really well with about any team. Because, you know, pop up, hit stun, block stun. She's just very synergetic with really anybody on the cast. I don't think I've seen anybody that she would play bad with. You know, there are people that she might not be the most optimal choice with, but you can still, you know, a full screen fireball assist, you know, a good block stun assist, and, you know, a C assist that functions pretty well and has a nice big hitbox. Will really work on any team that you put them on. And she builds a lot of bar. So just doing a normal combo, she just builds a lot of bar. I kind of messed up there, but that's okay. So you can see I already built like a bar and a half on that combo, and that was me messing up on it. So she just builds a ton of bar. I usually end up having about 1 3/4 to 2 bars, depending on the combo I'm doing, by the time I'm done with it. So yeah, her bar build is just great. She's very bar energetic is probably the best way I can put it. You know, and then I think her biggest pro is her tail. Her tail does so much work for her. This is great. Like, her tail is the best thing about her. You whip this thing, if you're a 21 player and you're not using the medium button for about everything, then you're just playing her wrong. So what are the cons to playing Android 21? I know I talked about this in the notable normal section, but her auto combo is bad. It's good for certain things. Extensions off of Vanish is one thing, but overall, it's not what you want to rely on. It's got decent range to it, but you have to basically get all 3 moves in there to do anything. It doesn't suck you back down to the ground like a Bardock. It's not the worst in the game, but it is far from the best. So you don't really want to just kind of throw it out, because it does leave you very vulnerable to a lot of things. Her Oki setups outside of her level 3s are not great, because she really does struggle with getting a sliding knockdown. The only way you can get a sliding knockdown is off of the grabs. So that's really it. I mean, this is the only way you can get a sliding knockdown. Just off of these grabs. So, yeah, overall, her Oki's not great. And as you can see, it does leave you full screen for your grabs, so you're, even after your sliding knockdown, you don't really got any good pressure. The grounded level 3, you know, gives you kind of a good 4-way high-low left-right mix-up, but it's not great. The best Oki setup that you can hope for is post air level 3 in the corner. But that is really it. So as far as her overall Oki after knockdown, you got to get back in, and it's just really hard to do that. She is very susceptible to reflex, so she has, you know, very easily reflected moves. If she does get reflected, she's pushed back quite a ways, and so it's really hard for her to get in, which is another thing about her. It's just really hard for her to get in. Once she's in, you know, she's a wrecking ball. But if somebody's keeping you full screen, and they're flitting around and you can't connect with this 3M, you know, they're blocking or reflecting your key blasts, and they're just not coming in on you. It can be harder for her to get in. Even with her range, it can still be a little difficult for her to get in and actually get that hit. Once she gets the hit, she's great, but getting the hit can be the difficult part. And she burns through a lot of meter. Like, she can burn through meter, especially solo. If you don't have assists to get her damage to where it needs to be, you're gonna have to vanish and burn bars on your like EX stunts to do your conversions. So you're gonna have to do that kind of, you know, meter burn to do anything that you need to do. Once you get your absorbs filled out, the EX ball, you know, you have to burn to keep that, especially if you want to do something plus on block. You know, her level 1 is good, like I said, but it attacks in the air, so you have to really worry about your Oki pressure, which is just not like the thing that she excels at. And one that's you know, kind of a both is the no sliding knockdown. It can be kind of a good thing because then once you're, you know, back on it, like after a light dunk, you just pressure again. But you also don't really you have to rely on setups and making your opponent panic. And if they don't panic and do something stupid, then you're gonna have a lot more tough time with the opponent than what you normally would. So where does she belong on your team? Well, I play her point. This is not quite the exact setup I use for my team. It's 21 Janemba and then Cooler as an anchor. But, you know, I play her as point because I think that's where she gets the most out of the team. I feel like, gets the most out of the team as a point character. But, you know, your mid is your second point character, and I think she also does really well at mid because she does have good assists. You know, she does have the ball, and she does have the dunk. And, you know, her C assist is also pretty decent. So, you know, she could make a very nice mid character, but personally, I think she works better at point. Basu and Daux, I think, kind of have a differing opinion on whether they want her at point or mid, but we all kind of agree that those are her 2 points, and that anchor is definitely her weakest point. A solo 21 is not the strongest character in the game because she will struggle to open you up. Her grabs are kind of slow. They do have good range to them, but they're kind of slow, kind of telegraphable. You really see that wind up to them. And you can get a bit off of them, but it's not like you're gonna get the max damage off of them. And she is, like I said in her cons, very bar hungry. So if you come in and you're low on bar, and you're the last one, and it's 21 by herself, she's gonna have a little bit of an issue. So as far as where we would definitely recommend her going, point or mid. So where do we think she stands on the game plan? Well, me, Basu, and Daux all play her slightly differently. I play her in more of a get on ya, get the hit, figure out how to get the hit, and just do as much damage and dump as much bar and dump as much damage as you can in one combo. That's how I play. Is it the best way to play? Probably not, but that's still how I play. And I play a lot with her grabs. You know, I use a lot of her absorbed abilities. I like getting these. I figured out how to do double absorb combos with my team, just for the simple fact that I like them so much. I like being able to use them against the opponents I steal them from. I think that's just kind of a neat little catharsis for me. but you know, I play with her grabs a lot. Basu, you know, he wants her to get in, 'cause she's hard to get off of you, especially once you get those 2 man grabs. Me and him have a similar type of play, but I think he focuses maybe just a little bit more on dunks and stuff than I do. Whenever I first started playing her, I definitely had like a double dunk combo down where you could get your enemy, dunk them, go into it from there. Whereas Daux, he likes to play a little bit more passive. Try to get you to the corner, get the setups going. You know, get the 6M setups that cover everything. Do things with snap, do things with the grabs to throw the timing off. You know, focus a little bit more with her neutral, because her neutral is very good. So I mean, yeah, this just shows that there are multiple ways to play this character, and play her very successfully, mind you. She's not one that you have to play in a very specific way. She can definitely play however you want her to play, really, within reason. You know, you're not going to be doing crazy like Bardock stuff with her, because she's just not designed that way. But she's still a wrecking ball, and she is still someone to very much respect and fear whenever you're playing against them. Alright guys, and that's it for my updated 21 guide. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell for notifications, and leave a comment down below. Remember, you can find me on Twitter at TheRealAgentP1 or Facebook at TheRealAgentP85. I'm also going to put up links to Basu's and Daux' YouTube pages to where you can find their videos. They're great creators. I really do appreciate having them on and them coming on to help me with this guide. I feel like that way we've made it the most complete guide that you can get without it being like 5 hours long. But anyway guys, thank you very much for watching, but most importantly, have a great day.
Bye!